The 10 worst states for illegal immigrants in the U.S. amid Trump's mass deportations. Welcome back to Travel TTV, where we explore the stories that shape our world, both near and far. Today, we're taking a closer look at a topic that's making headlines across the U.S., the impact of Trump's mass deportation plans, and the 10 worst states for illegal immigrants. Whether you're a traveler, a policy enthusiast, or just curious about the changing landscape of America, this is a journey you won't want to miss. Let's dive in. The Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigration has sparked countless debates across the U.S., hitting undocumented immigrants especially hard. While immigration policies vary between states, certain regions have proven to be particularly hostile. In this video, we're exploring the 10 worst states for undocumented immigrants, diving into the laws, individual stories, and the broader impacts on families and communities. Understanding the realities faced by vulnerable populations is crucial, not just for undocumented immigrants, but for anyone invested in fairness, family unity, and community well-being. So let's break it all down. When Donald Trump assumed the presidency, immigration policy took a sharp turn. His administration prioritized extensive deportations, strict border controls, and collaborations between federal and local law enforcement. With these moves came a surge in fear, tension, and disruption within immigrant communities. Under programs like 287G, local law enforcement in some states began working directly with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. Unfortunately, this led to widespread racial profiling, wrongful detentions, and a heightened risk for undocumented immigrants in certain states. But what makes a state particularly challenging for undocumented individuals? It comes down to policies around enforcement, the presence of anti-immigrant laws, and sometimes community sentiments. Now let's talk about the 10 states that pose the greatest challenges. Our analysis focuses on states where hostile immigration policies, aggressive enforcement measures, and socioeconomic dynamics create significant hurdles for undocumented immigrants. Here's a breakdown of the 10 worst offenders. Arizona has long been ground zero for harsh immigration policies. Remember SB 1070, nicknamed the Show Me Your Papers law. It allowed police to demand proof of legal residency from anyone they suspected of being undocumented. While parts of the law were struck down in court, Arizona remains aggressive in deportation efforts. Take Maria's story, for example. A single mother working in hospitality, Maria was pulled over for a minor traffic infraction, but it spiraled into her deportation proceedings. Her two young sons, both U.S. citizens, were left to navigate life without their mother. Experts note that Arizona's strict laws often encourage racial profiling and deepen mistrust among immigrant communities. In Texas, anti-sanctuary city laws have made local law enforcement central to deportation efforts. Immigrant families in urban and rural areas alike live in fear, with raids targeting workplaces and neighborhoods. I've seen moms arrested while picking their kids up from school, says immigration attorney Rebecca Ortiz, based in Dallas. The system here is unforgiving. Mississippi makes the list for its workplace raid history. In 2019, over 680 people were arrested at work sites in a single day. Families were torn apart, and local communities felt the economic shockwaves as businesses were left scrambling to fill their workforce gaps. Anti-immigrant sentiments run high in Alabama, where laws like HB 56 once required schools to verify students' immigration statuses. Though softened today, the state remains a hub for harsh anti-immigrant policies and minimal support systems for undocumented individuals. Antonio, a construction worker, shared his fear of even attending church. "They know where we gather," he said. "Any place can feel like a trap here." Georgia's implementation of strict immigration checks has made daily life unbearable for many. Housing applications, employment opportunities, and even emergency health care are impacted by the state's anti-immigrant bias. Despite the odds, advocacy groups like the Georgia Latino Alliance for Human Rights fight tirelessly for fairness and human dignity. The Sunshine State isn't sunny for everyone. Florida's push for local sheriff offices to partner with ICE has led to elevated detention rates. While heavily immigrant-populated, the state struggles with providing inclusive support structures, making life precarious for those without documentation. What do these extreme measures mean for immigrants? Let's focus on three key areas: fear in communities, family separation, and disruption to local economies. In many states on our list, fear has become a daily companion for undocumented immigrants. Mariana from Texas avoids public spaces entirely. Even a grocery trip feels dangerous, she shares. I always think, what if this is the day they come for me? This fear extends beyond individuals to entire families and neighborhoods, creating a hyper-vigilant, disconnected community fabric. Enforcement policies have devastating consequences on families, especially those with mixed immigration statuses. U.S. citizen children often lose their parents to deportation. Every year, thousands of kids are placed into foster care because their parents were detained or deported. Take Javier, for instance, who watched his father taken away during an early morning raid. "He was our rock," said Javier. "Without him, everything is falling apart." Many states on this list rely heavily on undocumented immigrants in industries like construction, agriculture, and hospitality. When these workers are detained or deported, entire sectors suffer disruptions. Mississippi's 2019 raids left poultry plants in crisis, facing labor shortages that hurt both local businesses and consumers. Sadly, the economic contribution of undocumented immigrants often goes unacknowledged. So, why are these policies so deeply flawed? For one, the system often punishes immigrants who have lived and worked in the U.S. for decades without providing a pathway to citizenship. Advocacy groups argue for comprehensive immigration reform, emphasizing pathways to legal status, rights to health care, and protection against family separations. Immigration is a federal issue, explains attorney Carlos Montoya. States aren't equipped to handle it humanely, they only make it worse. While some states enforce oppressive policies, others provide a glimmer of hope. States like California and New York have resisted federal enforcement mandates, offering sanctuary policies and legal aid programs. These efforts highlight the possibility of a humane approach to immigration. Meanwhile, community organizations, church groups, and legal advocates continue to fight for immigrant rights across hostile states. They're not only providing resources like food assistance and legal aid, but also raising awareness about the need for long-term solutions. If current deportation rates persist, the U.S. could face lasting consequences, socially and economically. Broken families and labor shortages could destabilize communities. Moreover, the rhetoric surrounding immigration could entrench divisions and stall progress. But a brighter path is possible. Reform can strengthen families, communities, and industries. Collaboration between policymakers, activists, and citizens can drive the U.S. toward a more inclusive future. Undocumented immigrants face life-altering challenges in the states we've discussed today. The people we've highlighted, Maria, Javier, Antonio, and countless others, represent millions whose stories often go untold. Understanding the human and economic toll of these policies is essential for progress. Comprehensive immigration reform isn't just about papers or borders, it's about dignity, fairness, and justice. As viewers, you can take small yet meaningful steps to support change. Volunteer with advocacy groups, write to elected officials, or simply share stories like these to build understanding. America thrives on diversity, and it's time our systems reflected that. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay compassionate, and stay hopeful. Thanks for joining us on Travel TTV as we navigated this complex and emotional topic. Immigration policies don't just shape borders, they shape lives, communities, and the future of our nation. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, keep exploring, stay informed, and remember, every journey tells a story. See you on the road.